Yes, I think your mic is mute.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So thank you for joining. So I think we can start. And I think you can see the screen. So my claim is that you should okay, yeah. Okay, so my claim is that you should be able to learn Python in 7 hours. It's actually 6 hours. The 7th hour is, if you look at the manual, the 7th hour is to work on a project. Okay, but in 6 hours, you should learn the basics. And then next week, we add more basics and also add more, not more basics, but we add more next week. And also focus more on machine learning topics next week. Okay. It turns out that many people use Python, including Google. So they use a lot of Python for Google. Sorry, I need to do, okay. And I need to remove this thing. Okay. Yeah, so it turns out that Google uses a lot of Python. And in the area of machine learning, they've been the ones who have developed many of these things that we use, TensorFlow, for instance. Okay. So I think I am recording. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So in starting, these are the topics we will go through. And so we'll go through the first one and then the second one. We'll go through the first one today and we'll try to do the second one today. So I would advise that you go through this before we meet. And then, so when we meet, you will probably just be troubleshooting and asking questions related to how to do something more than what has been shared in the booklet. So in 1 hour, you should be able to complete each chapter. In 1 hour is very short. If not that you had to type all the code examples yourself, you'll just be able to read it and quickly feel that you know Python. But you should type all the code examples yourself. And then you should experiment with modifying the examples. And then there are exercises at the end of each chapter. You should complete at least a few of them. Okay. So the first part has to do with installing Python. So before some of you came in, I was telling the people that I met here that I tried to install Python. So that I try to display from my phone, but I joined Zoom, but my phone has this thing that says I cannot share my screen. I cannot display my screen because it's going to slow down my phone, so it doesn't allow me to do it. But I was looking online to see how to disable that. So, but you can install Python on your Android phone. So you can try Pydroid 3. Okay, so I'll show you someone that already did Pydroid 3. So you just go to your Google Play and look for Pydroid. So I have here someone I think that already has Pydroid. Okay. So I have here, if you want someone that already installed Pydroid 3. So it's an article that I just made a Google search for online. So you can have it on your phone. If you have a smartphone, Android, so you can have it on your phone. And you don't have to be online all the time to use it. And then there's some packages you need later. As we go on, you will see what you need, and you can install them too. So I wish I was able to. So who, by show of hands, or if you like, you can unmute yourself, who has already installed Pydroid on their phones? You know, I wish I could show you on my phone Pydroid. But these are some of the things you can do on Pydroid. You can type all the code in it, and actually the free version, yeah. So can we have a show of hands, or so you can show your virtual hand, or maybe what I can do is to have everybody to unmute, and then you can tell me whether you have Pydroid or which one you have. Yeah. So who wants to tell us? Yes, Timileyin.
It's a good one, sir. Yes, I do have Pydroid, sir.
Okay, you have Pydroid. Okay. So if you have Pydroid, there are a number of things you can do. You see these 3 lines that are there on the top left?
Yes, sir.
If you click on it, one of the options will be terminal. And
yes,
then if you go to terminal, I'll show you how you can do the same thing in what do you call this in Anaconda. But it's similar. You can have a terminal and you can use the terminal like a calculator. So you can just use like a calculator and you can type different things in it. So we'll take a look at that soon. Okay. So this is the first way. Like you can just use your phone, you can install Pydroid, and if you use new file, you can just start typing in the things that you see here. And I think there's a button that says run. So I don't know if there's a way I could maybe there's a way I could, let me try show you on my phone, and then I have to I don't know what you see. Are you able to see it, or am I just doing the wrong thing? So I'm just trying to show you this thing on my phone, and there's a new, it shows new, and I can start to type 1 + 1. And there are 3 dots on the right. When I click it, no, actually I want to see how I run. Oh, there's a yellow arrow. There's an arrow at the bottom and it's yellow, and you can just press it and it will run your 1 + 1. But I didn't tell it to print, so I will tell it to print 1 + 1. And then I can run it, and it printed 2. So I don't know if you see it, but if you don't see it, okay, then I'll do it in another way. Is anybody able to do it with Pydroid? Okay. So in Pydroid, what I mean is that okay. It's going to give you a terminal. Okay. So Pydroid is going to give you a terminal, a screen that looks something like this. Let me share my screen. Okay. You see something like this, not exactly like this, but something similar. And then you can type print. This is tiny, but I think at the bottom of the screen, you can see what I'm typing. At the bottom of the screen, you can see what I'm typing. I do print 1 + 1, and it will print 2 for you. So you can do that in Pydroid also. Okay, so if you have Pydroid, you can try it. I don't know. If you have Pydroid and you can share your screen, could you do it and share your screen? And then I can guide a little bit. If you have Pydroid and you can share your screen, then if you could do it, then. So for instance, Timilan, can you share your screen with your PyDroid? Okay, good. Does it allow you to share your PyDroid? I think I clicked on share screen, and then for me, it told me it wouldn't allow me because it will slow down my phone. So for you, probably it may allow you. Does it allow you? Timilan, does it allow you to share your screen and show us the PyDroid?
So I'm trying to share the screen, but I don't know why it's not.
Oh, to be able to. Okay, no problem. Okay,
Let
so
me try.
yeah, okay, check goes in place. Oh, if you want to try, I probably okay. Oh yeah, perfect. So if you do you have the PyDroid? If you have it. Thank you, Chegozin. Oh yeah, perfect. So if you just type print 1 + 1, so you do print and then open a bracket and 1 + 1, and then close the bracket, and then you can hit something to. Yeah, if you just do this, it won't print it. So you have to type print. Yes, exactly, and then in bracket 1 + 1. I'm not sure you should leave a space between print and the bracket. It may work, it may not, but don't leave a space, please. Between print and the bracket. Is there a space? Okay. 1 + 1. Okay, thank you. And then this yellow circle, yeah. You clicked it, right? So did you click it? I think you clicked it, right? Yeah, so you see there's 2 there. Do you see? Just above the program finish, there should be 2. Yeah, click the yellow button again. Do you see a 2 at the corner? There should be a 2 at the corner. Yeah, this is the same error I got that does not allow me to put this thing on top of other.
How you can
Yeah.
install.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a 2.
When I go out like this, it shows me the
Yeah, it
result.
shows you the
When I'm
2. Okay.
in, I can't see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's the same error that's saying that it's not allowing you to show on top of other things. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So this is one way to use Python, and if you just want to learn, I think this is a good way to start. Okay. The other, I have it here, is to go to Google Colab. Yeah. So with Google Colab, you can go to this. So I'll go to this website. Okay. Colab.research.google.com.
Yes.
I'm already signed in with my. I'm already signed in with my Google account, so then I don't have to sign in again. If you're not signing, it will have something here that says sign in, and then you can sign in. Even if it doesn't have a sign in, it will still show you that some of these commands, but when you try to enter the command, then it will tell you that this is not possible. Okay, that you need to sign in. So just go there, it will take you to your browser. You need to have a Google account, a Gmail. Okay, then I choose new notebook in this case. And it will create something for me. And then I'll be able to type simple commands. Yeah. So one of the commands, like Chagodzim did, I'll do print 1 + 1. Okay. And you can click this black circle to run the cell. And it's going to run it, and it's going to write the result for us. So it does the connection. You need to be online for this. Okay. It's connecting, and it's connecting me to one of their servers. And then I don't know why it's taking this long. Usually it doesn't take this long. And I don't think I what?
It's not running, sir.
Yeah. So it printed too. Okay. And then you can to insert another code below the text. So it says start coding or generate with AI. So let's print. Usually in computing, the first thing you want to print is hello world. Okay. So later on, we get to know that this is a string, and this is how you have to do a string. Okay, print hello world. You can do Shift Enter, and it's going to execute it, or you can hit the black circle. Okay, so it printed hello world just like I wanted it to print hello world. So this is another way to use it. I'm going to rename the notebook. So by just clicking here, I can rename the notebook. Let's say today is April 21, 2025. Okay, so I'll rename the notebook that way. Or if you like, you can go to File and rename. You can do that also. Okay. Another thing you can do is there's supposed to be, okay, if you go to File, there's supposed to be a way you can open a terminal. I thought that's like this one. Sorry. I thought oh. Yeah. So I think they will change it every time, okay, or many times. So if you go to the bottom of this place, there's a small thing here. So I go down to the left. There's a small thing like it's rectangle. I click on it. It will give me a terminal. No, it doesn't give me a terminal. You have to sign up for Google for Colab Pro to gain access to the runtime terminal. I thought I was able to do it in the morning. Okay, so no, so this one doesn't give you a terminal. Or maybe the terminal was on my phone. Okay. So for now, you should be able to do some of these things. Print 1 + 1, hello world, and you should be able to set variables and do different things. So this is the other way to do it. Okay. The third way that we highlighted was to go to anaconda.com. There's anaconda.org, but the one you should go to is anaconda.com. And then if you go to anaconda.com, you go to downloads, free download. And if you want free download, the download is like 1 gig. So you can provide your email address if you want to be kind to them and maybe agree to receive communication. If you skip registration, no problem. You can skip the registration because it's open source, really, really, really open source. And then there are Anaconda installers. You can install for Windows. Okay. You can install for Mac. You can install for Linux. So if you click the one on Windows, you can see that it's almost 1 gig. And so once the file comes, which I did in the past, the file comes, it's called Anaconda. And then you double click it and you start to install it. It will take a little bit of time to install. Finally, when it installs, there'll be this Anaconda in your system. Okay. So to start it, the first time you do it, it's better to use Anaconda Navigator. I don't know if everybody sees it. So if you use Anaconda Navigator, it will show you a window. In the window, I will choose Jupyter Notebook. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay. So I'm still waiting for my window.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. I want
Good
to,
afternoon, Ajimala.
for this lesson, I have Python ideally shell on my system. Is it
Oh,
compulsory to download Anaconda, or with this Python, I can go on with this lesson?
yes. So with the Python, ideally, you can go on with the lesson and you don't need to download Anaconda, because you can also go to python.org and you can download the Python and be able to use it from there also. But the good thing with the Anaconda is that it contains many of the things you need already. So you don't have to install them later next week when we are doing machine learning, for instance. So if you just go to PyCharm or python.org and download. Later on, you will need matplotlib, you will need scikit-learn, you will need other things, and you can install them as you need them. But if you use Anaconda, it's already in it. Okay. What if you use Google Colab? It's not in it by default. So you have to, each time you need it, you have to install it. And I'll show you how to install it. Like if I do pip install pandas, I'm not sure pandas is already installed. It may be already installed. Okay, it was already, didn't have to. Okay. But other things that you may need, like matplotlib, I don't know if it's already installed also. Matplotlib. I do shift enter. Then if it's installed already, so okay, so it's installed already. Okay. But if you also download your Python, it may be installed already, it may not be installed already. So you have to install it each time you need. You install it once, okay? And then you can use it later. But Anaconda already packs many of those things together. So then I don't have to install it each time I need it. People that are using PyDroid, if you want to use matplotlib, you have to install it. You do the same thing. Pip install matplotlib, and then it will install it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so my Anaconda Navigator came up, and then it's still loading packages, and so there's PyCharm. You can install it or use it also. There's PyCharm. It's a good IDE that you can install and use also. But I want to use Jupyter Notebook because it's common and many people use it. And then there's I can show you how to use the Anaconda prompt later on. And then what I want you to use is Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So you see this one says Jupyter Notebook, and this is the one I will use. Okay. There's Jupyter something else. So that's not the one we want to use. Yeah, there's Jupyter Lab. So it's not Jupyter Lab, but it's Jupyter Notebook. So you click on launch. And if I'm fortunate, it launches it. And it's going to take me to my browser. I don't know if you did that already. If you did not, I have to tell it to do it. I have to try it again. So I don't know. Let me click on launch again. So not here. And Maybe I don't have enough memory. So let me get rid of some of the. Let me get rid of my browser and restart my browser again. Because my browser takes a lot of memory, so let me do that. Okay, it's gone. Actually, I shouldn't say my browser takes a lot of memory. I open too many windows in my browser. So, okay. Oh, okay. So now it's coming. So it's coming. So I'll be patient and then it will come and I will be able to use it. Yes, so Anaconda is a package that is online, but it's available for free. So you download it, you install it, and then you can use it even if you're not connected online. So I'm waiting for this. Maybe I should kill it totally. Okay, because I opened two. I clicked launch twice, so that's. I think one is ready at least. Okay, what's happening? Okay, I just have to be patient. Okay, so it has come. So many things you can do now. If you click new, you can have a new Python. If you do it, it will give you something similar to what the Google Colab gave you. Or you can have a new Python terminal. It will give you similar, yeah, you can have a Python terminal, or you can have a new file. So let's first do terminal, because this just shows something that is good to see. The problem with the terminal is you cannot save it. So once I quit it, it quits. Okay. So if you use Windows before, this reminds you of your command line, like this one that I have. Okay. But this is here in. Okay. So I can now type Python and I can do 1 + 1 and it will write it, or I can do print 1 + 1. Okay, print it. And I can assign A = B. And okay, B is not defined. I can say B is 2.5, and I can say A = B, and I can print A. Okay. And you can do something like add I can add 1 to A, and I can print both of them. Okay. A becomes 3.5, B becomes 2.5. I mean, remains as 2.5. So you can do that at the terminal. So you can use this actually like a calculator. So there are times when I want to do calculations like, say, I think I'm right with this. So this is Bose constant, and the charge is 1.6. Okay. And so I want to do H/E. I need to print the value from it. So you can do different things like this. The first one is Bose constant. The second one is the charge, electronic charge, and you can do something like this for it. So you can use it as a calculator, which is all well and fine. Okay. And so if I want to multiply out large numbers by another large number, Okay. It gives me the number, but I made them both floating. Star is just for multiplication. Okay. One of the things I didn't write in the manual, but which I want to tell you is that Python is case sensitive. So little a is not the same thing as big A. Okay. Yeah, so it's case sensitive. This is very important, which I did not write in the manual. So if I say print big A, okay, it tells you A is not defined. But this one is kind. It said, did you mean small a? Because big A and small a are different. Okay, so if I do print small a, it prints it because it defined it. We defined it already, 3.5. But big A is not defined. So this is something one needs to be careful with. The good thing about it, you can, yeah. So try not to confuse yourself. So if I have a code, I'll probably not use big A and small a in the same code, you know, because then you can just get mixed up. Okay. So I'll probably try not to use both of them in the same code. Okay. So sometimes I'll use small, sometimes you use big, but just know that Python is case sensitive. Okay. Let me put this as a string so that yeah. So Python is case sensitive. So yeah, so this is very important to know. Okay. The question. Okay, thank you. Okay. So you can install it. If you have problems with installing it, you can let me know. So let's go here, and I'm going to do a new I think what I do is a new Python. I think is this what I'm supposed to do? Or maybe I should do a new file. No, I do a new Python. Yeah. So it's going to open a notebook for me, just like I had opened one in Google Colab. But the advantage of this one over Google Colab is I don't have to pay to use a terminal. Okay. Because if you remember the Google Colab, it told me I had to upgrade to Google Pro. No, Google Colab Pro. Actually, the interesting thing is that Google is reasonable enough to know that they need to charge different rates in different countries. So they don't charge you the same amount that they will charge people in the US. So I don't know exactly, but for Google, 100 gig of space, I think is kind of like maybe 10,000 naira for the whole year. Whereas if you're in the US, no, they can't charge you $1, right? Because $1 is like 15. Am I right? No, they can't charge you $10 because $10 is 15,000. Yeah. So they prorate it. Okay. So here we are. And we can do the same thing like we did before. So I'll do a print 1 + 1. I do shift enter. Okay. If you just do print 1 + 1 and you do enter, it will just move to the next space. Okay. Or you do shift enter. Or if you like, you can be here and you can go to run and run it, run selected cell. Or you can use this arrow to run it, and it will run it the same thing. It tells you what is running here. It numbers it, okay? And if you're still running something, there'll be an asterisk there, okay? So let's do the first one, which is print hello world. Okay. I do shift return again, and it just prints hello world for us, okay? Okay. So we've installed the program. If you have problems installing, we can iron things out once we finish today. And then the next one we go to is integers and variables and data types. Okay. Interestingly, Python does not force you to and does not require you to declare the type of all your variables. You know, if you're somebody that has been using C, you know, so they really made it quite straightforward. If you're someone that has been using C, you have to say integer age equals 10, and you put a semicolon. So one, they got rid of this saying int age, okay? So you don't have to say it, okay? And then they got rid of this semicolon. So you don't have to keep putting semicolon at the end of everything. Okay? This is one of the errors that people that first start learning C++ encounter. You know, you every time at the beginning, you forget your semicolon, you forget your semicolon. Later it becomes your habit, okay? If you put a semicolon, Python does not mind. So if I put a semicolon here, it doesn't mind. It still does it, okay? But if you don't put a semicolon, it doesn't mind, it doesn't penalize you either, okay? So if you are used to C++, this should still work for you. But you don't have to, and you don't do this int age equals 10 thing, okay? You see, this gives me an invalid syntax when I'm trying to declare age as integer, okay? So it gives me an invalid syntax. So you don't do this. Just write that age is 10, okay? And then, so what is age? Age is just a variable. What does it mean? It means it's a location in memory space. Just think of it as a box in the memory, or as a space in the memory. And this command tells it to put 10 in this box age. Okay. If you want, you can put 10.0 in this box age. Then it will know that age now is a floating number. So it's not integer, but it's a floating number. So it's what you put in it that will determine the size of age and what it can contain. Okay. So if I try to find the type, what kind of variable is age? Okay. This is how you find what kind of variable is age. Type age, you do shift enter, and it will tell you it's an integer. Okay. The same age, if I had done 10.0, okay, I do shift enter, and I do type of age. What do you think is going to give me now?
Float.
What do you think it's going to give me? Yeah, it's going to give you a float. So it gives you a float. You know, it's hard to do this with C++. Okay, in the same code, you declare a variable one way. And so even if I do this, if later I say age is 10, okay, I do enter, and I now find the type of age. Actually, now I don't even know what to do. But I think it will give me that is an integer. Yeah, because you see, I set it to an integer. Okay. If I mistakenly do age which is wrong, 10. Okay. The way I've done it, because I put it in quotes, then is a string. Okay. If I do shift enter, okay, age will be there. Okay. If you now try to find the type of age, it tells me it's a string. But you know, it's the same code. One place I use it as float, another place I use it as integer, another place I use it as string. Okay. So it takes everything. The difference is that these operations you can do on string is not the same one you can do on integer or float. So for instance, if I do print age plus age, okay, because age is a string, this plus actually means it should put them together, put two strings together. So if I do shift enter, it will just write 10 twice, okay? So you see, it wrote 10 twice. It doesn't give me 20 because it knows that age is a string. The other one is a string. So when it gives you the result, it's just string. Okay. So it's not going to think for you to say, oh, age is 10. I think this guy means is an integer. So let me add 20 and 20. Sorry, 10 and 10. But if I do age is 10, okay, now is a float. Sorry, is a integer. And if I do print age plus age, what do you think is going to print? So what do you think is going to print?
The string.
What?
No, an integer.
Yeah, because here you see I said age is 10. I didn't put a quote around it. So if you do this now, it's going to take print 10 plus 10, which is 20. So we see exactly 20. And if I had done this, age is 10.0, and I do print age plus age, okay, it's going to print, you see, it printed 20.0. Okay, it respects exactly what the age or what variable you put in there. So, and it does the operation according to the variables. They did this to make our lives very simple. Unfortunately, it's prone to mistakes also. Yes, Ajibola, let me, sorry. So I want to rename it, so I'll rename it. Yeah, Ajibola, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to ask a question. Can a string be, can a integer be added to a float? Like maybe we are adding 10.0 to 20. You know they are both numbers, but can it be added in Python?
Actually, in Python, yes, they can be added. It will upgrade the integer to it. Well, it will upgrade the integer internally to a float and add both, and it will give you a float. Okay, so yeah, so that's a good one. So let's say age. So let's call it float age. And let's call it int age. You see, I put an underscore. So float age is one name. Int age is one name. I put an underscore. I call it, let's call it 20. Okay. Shift enter. Sorry, equals. If you want me to make this bigger, I can try to make it bigger. Do you want me to make my screen bigger? What I'm typing? I think I can do it. Okay. Is it bigger? Maybe view.
It's bigger.
Okay, it's bigger. Thank you. Ouch, what did I do? Okay. Okay, so let's do what Ajibola is asking. So I'll do print float underscore age plus int underscore age. Okay, so there are two different variables and I'm adding them together. So when you add them, this int age, it will upgrade it to a float, and then it will add both of them together, and it should give me 30.0. So you see, it gives me 30.0. If you try to do something like string underscore 30, okay, sorry, string underscore age equals 30, and I try to add a string age to a float age, it won't know what to do. So it's going to give you an error. This one, it guesses what you want to do, that you want to add them, and you are not so careful. Yeah. So if I try to print string age plus, let's do int age. It doesn't know exactly what to do. So it gives you an error. You can only concatenate a string, not int to string, you see. When it gives you an error, try to read the error. Think of it like a doctor. The patient is sick, you give the complaint, and then it will try to tell you what is wrong. Okay, so don't just say I have an error. You should try to read what the error is. Okay, let's go back quickly to this. Okay, let me try. Okay, so in this, so integer is just 25. Float temperature is 98.6. The reason it's float is just because I put the point. If you just put 98 points, it will be float. Okay. String, because I put the quotes for Alice, then it's a string. If you just put name equals Alice without the quotes, it will know what you're saying, you know, because you have to have defined Alice before. So in this case, it knows I'm defining name as a string called Alice. You can use single quotes or you can use double quotes, anyone you want. Okay. Then there's something that we have in Python. They have it in C, C++, Fortran also. which is Boolean. Boolean is just something like a bit that tells you yes or no. Okay. So if you do Boolean logic or Boolean algebra, it's like a bit. It tells you yes or no. In the past, and I think now, Boolean variables were only stored with 1 bit. Okay. Integers are stored with either 4 bits or 8 bits. Okay. Floats are with 8 bits or 16 bits. I don't remember which one. Okay. But they are very long bits. They take much space. Okay. But if you store a Boolean, you just take 1 bit. Okay. It's not the same thing as integer. Someone will say, why didn't I use 0 for yes? Sorry, 0 for no, 1 for yes. You can do that, but your yes is taking 4 bits and your no is taking 4 bits. Okay. If you don't, if they're not Boolean, if they are integers, then yeah. So what I'm saying is student, I set it to be true. So this true is a value. So there are 2 values. It could be true or it could be false. Okay. So let's do that here. So, okay. So I have this name is student. Underscore is a valid part of the name. Okay, we are going to talk about this soon. I can set it to be true. Okay. And if you find the type, I think, let me try if I can do size. This works in C. I don't know if it works in size is not defined. Let me try to see what I can do on this. Sorry. This works in C, but it doesn't work in this. Okay. Is integer. I'm trying to see what this, how I can get this size. Maybe bit count. Yeah, let's do is integer and then I do bit count. Sorry, is student and I do bit count. It just tells me is Boolean bit. It doesn't tell me more than that. Okay. So, but if you are setting a Boolean, there are 2, you can either set it to be true or it could be false. Okay. Those are the 2 options, true or false. Okay. By now you have seen that if you look in the manual, that one way that we define comments is by hash. Okay. For many computers, it's shift 3. This will give you this hash, and you can write your comments there. Okay. So it makes it easy. So in this case, this Boolean, hash Boolean, is a comment. This one is a comment. The student equals true. This is a comment. Okay. And I'll talk about the other ones also. This is called a formatted print statement. Okay. It's formatted because of this F. Okay. So it's print, and then you put this F, is formatted. Every other thing you put in a quote. Okay. Anything that is not in these braces is taken as a string. Everything that is in it, the braces, is taken as a variable. Okay. So this is a string. This years old is a string, and it will print it like that. But this name, because I put it in this quote, is going to replace it by this, what is in this variable name. Okay. And then this age also, because I put it in this quote, is going to replace it by what is up here as 25. Okay. So I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to just paste it in what we have. Ouch. I don't know how to do it. Because when I'm trying to copy it, it's copying the number and I don't need the number. Okay, let me just copy this one. And then I'll remember that name is Alice and age is 25. So let's put it in the code. Okay, age is 25. And you can put name equals Alice. We can use single quote or double quote. Okay, it's the same thing in Python. Okay, so I do this. Okay. And then the other line, I copy it, print. This is a formatted statement. It's going to write Alice because it's going to replace what I put this thing in quotes with the variable is this years old. Did I execute this? I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, so let's do this. So you see, it says Alice is 25 years old. Okay. Because it replaced the name with the variable because I put it in quotes. If you do this and you don't put it in quotes and say like this, okay, it's just going to write name is 25 years old. Okay. So you see, the wrote name is 25 years old. But when you put it in braces, like we did above, then it knows that it should use the variable and write it. So this is formatted right, okay? There are other ways you can do it without using formatted right. I can say print name, because name is a variable, and then I put the space is, this is more cumbersome. I say name is, and then age, years old. You have to be careful with it because if you don't put the right spaces, it will put everything together. So I print the variable. The next thing I print, and then a comma. The next thing I print is this string. Space is space. The next thing I print is 25, the age. Then I print again. The next thing I print, comma, space, years old. I hit Shift Enter. It prints similar, but not exactly the same. I think there's more space than I need. Okay. If you look here, I think there's too much space here. There's too much space here. There's too much space here. Because I don't remember how to space it. Okay. So maybe I shouldn't have put all the spaces. But then if you don't put all the spaces, sometimes it will jam them together. So if you know how to use the formatted print, this is good. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far? I really want you to try it and be putting your hands on it and not just watching me do different things. Okay. Okay.
Hello, bro.
Yes.
Okay, the cell 61. Is it necessary to put X before the code?
Oh, sorry. You're asking something with respect to, yes, 61, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you need to put, I think you need to put F because it's formatted. Let's try without it. Oh, yeah, you see, without it, it just prints is something age, you see? It doesn't know that age should be a variable that's, yeah. So you need to do that. Okay. So this shows is a formatted print. That's what the F does. And then this is when it will replace this age that you put in braces with 25. Okay. So if you do this now, it's 25. But you see the name, I didn't put it in quotes. Just to illustrate, because before I did it. Yeah, so you need to put the F there. The F shows is formatted print statement.
Sir, sorry, sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir. Assuming the line, the students equals true, sir. Assuming it was added, what would have changed here, sir? I mean, in the output.
Assuming what?
Assuming the is underscore students equals true was added to this code, sir. What would be the changes, sir?
Oh, okay. This is underscore student Okay, I'll tell you what. For now, I think when we do let me see. When we do some control statement, let me see which hour it will be. The second hour, when we do for loop and while loop, you will see how this is important. Okay. Because
Okay,
you can
okay,
say if he's a student, you should do this, or if he's not a student, you should do this, you know. And what
okay,
that checks is it just checks whether it's true or false. Yeah.
okay,
So
sir.
we'll see that, I think, in the next lesson. Okay. So let's see. Let's try to do some of the exercises. Let me see. Yeah, we should try to do some of the exercises together. Okay. Write a program that calculates the area of a rectangle. Okay. So what do you need to do that? Okay. So I want somebody to write this, and then you can share your screen and show us. I want someone to do the second one. Create variables for your name, your age, your hometown. Yeah, because we want to know also. Then print them. Then also calculate the cross-sectional area of a pipe given its diameter. Okay. So you should be able to do this also. Okay. This one, okay. Use an estimate for the value of pi. Okay. Later on, we will see how to get pi from Python. Yeah, but for now, just use the estimate for the value of pi. Okay. Number 4 is very interesting. Create variables storing your height in centimeters and your weight in kilogram. Then calculate your BMI. So this will help you to know how healthy you are. BMI is your body mass index. So is your weight divided by your height squared. I think that is what it is. Check. If it's above 25, you need to be careful. Yeah, you divide your weight in kilograms by your height in meters squared. Okay. So then you need to be careful if you have a BMI that is above 25. Yeah, so it's weight over height in meters squared. Weight in kilogram over height in meters squared. 25 to 29.9 is overweight. Obese is 30 or greater. Healthy weight is 18.5 to 24.9. Underweight is less than 18.5. The next exercise, we use this information to be able to tell people when they give us their height and their weight, we will tell them whether they are underweight, healthy, or overweight. I think we can add obese also. Okay, so you should be able to do this. Use these variables and determine the BMI. Okay. And then you should be able to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay. Let's just do this part, convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay. Just the first part is enough. Just convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. So they give you temperature in Fahrenheit, you should be able to convert it to Celsius. Or they give you one in Celsius, you should be able to convert it to Fahrenheit. Okay. So who wants to show us any of these 5?
I think I'll do the BMI.
Oh, you do the BMI. Okay. So do you want to show us?
Just hold on a bit because my phone is trying to overheat. So I want to write the code before I share it so that it doesn't hang.
Oh, okay. So write the code and then you share it with us. Okay. Who else wants to do another part of it? Like you can show us how to calculate the cross-sectional of a pipe given its diameter. Okay, who wants to do that? Or you can create variables for your name, age, and hometown, and then print them.
Sorry, sir. For
Yeah.
the values, like for example, now they calculate the cross section area of a pipe given its diameter.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to assume the diameter or include something that
Yes. So
will
in this case, yeah, you just put a variable equals a particular diameter. You choose any diameter. I
okay,
think
okay.
I can show you how to read it from a user. Yeah, I can show you how to read it from a user. But for now, just assign a variable and then show it. And then do the calculation. You can use a value of pi is 22/7, for instance. For now, you do this. Later on, we will see how to get more sophisticated values of pi. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. If you are ready, you can show us. You can just put it on here and then we'll see. Okay. I'll stop share so that someone can show us what they want to show us. Oh, yeah. So one of the things is there anybody who wants to show us? So like I wrote in the manual, you can use almost anything for the variables, okay? But you should not, you cannot start with a number. So you can't do 1_name. This is not allowed, but name_1 is allowed. You can't start with a number. I'm not even sure you can start with underscore. You can't, you cannot start with many symbols, and you can't start with the numbers. So you can't start with star something. No, you can't start with bracket something. So if you try to do some exotic thing, it's going to caution you and not work. So 1_name is not allowed, but name_1 is allowed. So you start generally with with a letter. Okay. And there's some operations that are basic. So for instance, A plus B just adds, if A is 10 and B is 3, these are integers. If you add them together, you get 13. If you subtract them, 10 minus 3, you get 7. If you multiply them, 10 by 3, you get 30. If you divide them, 10 divided by 3. In the past, if you do integer division, 10 divided by 3, it will just give you 3. But now Python 3 has upgraded everything. So if you do A divided by B, it will give you exactly the value. Okay, so let's try it. A is 10. And it doesn't matter if you put space or not. B is 3. And then I want to, let me write, do shift enter. Okay. And then I want to print A divided by B. Yeah, you see it writes 3.33333. It's recurring decimal, it should go on forever, but my computer has limited bits, so it approximates the last one. Well, this is some round-off error. Not sure why is it 5 and not 3. Let me try again. The same thing. Okay. In the past, if you do integer division, it will just give you 3. But now there's another operation for integer division. That's this next one. Divided. Okay, A divide / B. This is integer division. To just give you the integer part of the division. So we can see it. So if I do print, so A / B, okay. What happened? Sorry, I don't know what's happening. Why? I think I did something wrong. Okay, so this gives me this. And then I move to the next screen. And I upload this. Okay. Oh, because I think I don't know. So let me put this in. Okay. So I did print A / B and it gave me 3. So this is integer division. And for scientific people, you probably need A to the power B. Okay. So 10 to the power 3, you need it, star to give you. And then I'm going to talk about this modulus just now. A%B. Okay. A%B gives you the A/B gives you integer part when it divides. A%B, so A/B gives you the integer division, the integer part when it divides. A%B gives you the remainder when it divides. It does integer division, and then the remainder, it gives it to you as, that's A%B. Okay, so let's do this. So if I do print A%B, okay, it doesn't matter you put space or you don't put space. So it's 1, okay? So it does 10 divided by 3. Is 3, the remainder is 1. So it gives me this, okay? If I do 7% 5, what do you think this will give me?
Should give you 2.
It will give you 2 exactly. You divide 7 by 5, the remainder is 2. So it gives you 2 exactly. Yeah. So this is helpful. For instance, if you want to know whether a number is even or odd, if you want to know whether a number is even, you just divide the number. So by 2, and if there's no remainder, then it's even. If there's a remainder, then it's odd. Okay, so this helps to know that. Yeah. Let's do the print A * B. Okay, so A to power B, that's it. Okay, so is anybody ready to show us some of what they've done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, okay, so you can share and show us. Oh, sorry. Okay. So what did you get for the BMI? 18 point something, right? Yeah, it's 18 point something, right?
Our phone has hung.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
sir. It is. I
Okay.
forgot that I was muted.
Oh, okay, no problem. Could we see the code?
Okay. This is the code here.
Okay. Yeah, so hash, yeah, this is good. You give us the comment. The height is 1.57. So this is good. You don't put 1.57 m for meters, no. Just the number 1.57. The weight is 45. This is good. And then his weight over height squared. Yeah. And then you print the BMI. This is perfect. Okay. What if somebody gives you his height in feet and inches? Don't do it now. But let's say somebody gives you the height in feet and inches. You should be able to convert it to meters and then
Yes.
do the division. Yeah, because these Americans, they give you everything. You know, they tell you Akin-Ojo is 7 foot. Okay.
Yes.
How is that in meters? You know, you want to be able to convert it and know. Donald Trump is 6'2" or something, you know, or 6'4", you know. So you want, yeah. So this is one of the things you can do also. And then unfortunately, also in the US, they give you that weight in pounds, and they say this footballer is a 300-pound footballer, or the gorilla is a 500-pound gorilla. Like, what is that in kilogram? Okay, so it's possible to convert and then do all this. Yeah. Thank you very much, Chagozin. Does anybody have a question for Chagozin? Damilare, your hand is up. Yeah, you can answer. You can talk.
All right. Thank you, Prof. I think the BMI the weight over height, shouldn't it be in bracket or something?
No, I
Oh,
think that would be for other languages, not Python.
no, actually, okay, yeah. So okay, this is an interesting thing. It turns out that many computer languages, they do BODMAS for you. Okay. So if you write BMI is weight over height star 2, it you know that you should do the height squared first, and then you should divide by the weight by the height squared. So you don't have to put a bracket. Yes, you can put a bracket and say is weight over height in bracket squared, but he knows about BODMAS. You know, online you get all these jokes about people saying that compute this 3 plus 2 times 5 minus 3 plus 7, and then you have to figure out the order in which you have to do the calculation. You understand what I mean? Let me share. For instance, if I do 3 plus 5 times 7, okay, there's no bracket. So someone will say, should you do the 3 plus 5 first to get 8 and multiply everything by 7? But many scientists, what they will do is they'll use BODMAS. They do 5 times 7 first, which is 35, and then they'll add it to 3 and get 38. And this is exactly what the computer will do. So if I do here, it gives me 38. Okay. But if you decide to say, oh, let me be clear so that whoever is reading knows what I'm doing and everything, it can be. Okay. You can do this also. It will still give you 38. But let's say what you meant was add 3 and 5 together first. Okay. And then multiply everything by 7. Yes. Then you need brackets. Okay. Because if you do this now, it will give you 56, right? Yeah. But if you just write it without any bracket, it will do BODMAS for you. Or PEDMAS, or I don't know. When I was in primary school, we said BODMAS. Later on, some people now tell me it's PEDMAS or something mass. But you understand what I mean. Okay. So it will do that for you. So if you do the weight over height squared, it will do the BODMAS for you and give you the correct result. Yeah. Thank you for the question, Damilare.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So who wants to show us one more thing before we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Bashir, do you want to?
Yeah, like I think I tried the first one, sir. The area of the rectangle.
Okay, so could you show us your code?
Yes, let me share my screen.
Okay, yeah, you can.
Can you see? Can you see?
We see your screen, but we don't see the. Okay, yeah, I see your screen now. Yeah, and then I want to see the code.
Oh, I'm coming. Yeah. So this is like user device. Like the user will enter the value of the length and the width of the rectangle.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. So this is good. Okay, so it's good you already know much of this Python. I'll take a little time to explain this now, and then yeah. So the user will enter. So if you execute this, it will write enter the length here, and
Yes, sir.
once enter the length, it will write enter the width here, and then it will multiply both of them together, and it will print the area of rectangle is this cm squared. Yeah. So could you execute it and then let's see, and then
Okay.
after
Okay,
that,
sir.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
enter the length.
So it's enter the length. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe three.
Okay.
Okay. And enter the width. Let's do 2.
Okay.
Okay. And the area of rectangle is 6.0 cm squared. Okay, this is perfect. How did you do the cm squared? Can I see?
Yeah.
How did you do the cm squared?
I just put cm squared here, so that is just it.
Oh, how did you get?
I just put it. I can put meter square. I can put any
Oh, okay.
there. It's
This is
like string.
okay. Wow.
So the
Okay.
area there is variable, like you
Yes.
yeah, like you said before, when we are using
Yeah.
the format of the prints.
Okay, this is correct. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So since you touch on this, then let me quickly just tell everybody something about how to do it. Okay. So if you want the user to enter, say, the height and also to enter the weight, for instance, if you want to calculate BMI, then you can use something called an input string. Okay. So if I do this, input as, so the command is input. Okay. I'll say, let me write what is your weight in kg. Okay. So if I execute this, it's going to write on the screen for me, what is your weight in kg? And it's going to wait for me to put something in it. Okay. So I'm going to put what is your weight in kg. So I do this shift enter and is asking me what is your weight in kg. It has this box for me to be able to put something in it. Okay. So let me tell a line and tell it that my weight is 50. Okay. And I put enter. Okay. So if I now say print W, okay, shift enter, it's going to print 50. Okay. But watch, this 50 that it prints, what do you think it is? Do you think is an integer or a float or what?
It should be a string.
Exactly, it's a string. Input always returns a string. Okay. So if you do it, it's going to return a string. So if you find the type of W, it's going to be a string. Okay. Before you can use it and divide by the height squared, you need to convert the string to a float. Okay. So one way you can do that is you can just do I can do W is I'll do float the original W. Okay. So it reads the original W, which is a string, and then this new W is a float. If you like, you can do W float because float W. Okay, so if I now do the type of the W float, you see is float. Okay. Another thing you see, I first defined W, okay, here. So this W is a string, and then I did the type. Sorry, I floated it. You can do everything in one command. So instead of doing it twice, you can put a float here. Okay. So it will take it will write what is your weight in kg. It will read your weight as a string, and then this float will convert this string to a float. Okay, this float command. Okay. So if you do the same thing now, it seems as if it's doing the same thing. I put 50. I hit enter. If you do print W, it's 50 is a float. So already, because it printed 50.0, you know it's a float already. Okay. Let's put another command, another one. You want your height. Your height. Let's just say give your height in meters. Okay, meters. Okay. If you read height like this, you are going to read a string. And if you try to divide the weight by the height squared, it's not going to work. It's going to give you an error because it doesn't know how to square a string. And also it doesn't know how to divide a float weight by a whatever else you get string. Okay. So what you should do is you should float it after you receive it. So I do shift enter. What is your weight in kg? So I'm going to say 50. Give your height in meters. Let's say the person is 1.6 meters. Okay. So it takes both things. Okay. And then later on, if you want, you can print the BMI as weight over height squared and 19.53. Okay, so you can do that. If you like, you can define a variable called BMI and divide. Okay, but this is important that the way you get something from the user is by putting input this and input this. Okay, so I think similarly you can incorporate this into what you have so that the user can give you the diameter they want and you can give the cross-sectional area. Okay. Let's move on to the next hour, which is control flow. Okay, so we can play with this more control flow. Okay, so this simple code, what it does is it helps you to decide if a person is a child, teenager, or adult. Okay, yeah. So we do age equals 18, but like we saw now, you don't have to do age equals 18. You can let the user put in their age, and then you can now tell the user whether it's a child, a teenager, an adult. Okay, and we use this elif, else statement. Okay, so it's if, elif, so it's not else if. It's like else if, but it's shortened. So it's elif, okay, and else. Okay, two things. You see there's a colon here, okay, and then you put the condition. And then one other thing that happens in Python to make our work easier is that we use indentation. So you see this print does not occur at the same position, vertical position as this if. We push it to the right. Okay. The reason is because, okay, this print statement belongs to under this if condition. If this is true, we want to do this. Okay. Else if, or elif, age is 20, we want to print this. Else we want to do this. Okay, so this is the way you do conditional statement. Okay, so we are going to try to do this, but we are going to make it more interesting because now we know how to. So age less than 13, age less than 20, and print. Okay. So let's start with, okay. So age equals, I would have said input is give us your age. Okay. If I do this, it's going to give me a string, and then I'm going to float it. If you like, you can float it. If you like, you can make it an integer. In this case, please give us your age. Okay. So the person is going to give us the age. Okay. So it's asking me for the age. So let's say it's 18. I'll hit enter. Now we are not doing anything with it. Okay. But let's do other things with it. I'll say if age is less than 13. Okay, I put a colon. I hit enter. You see, it does not start from here. The reason is because this Jupyter notebook that we are using is smart, is an IDLE. So it's an integrated ID. What's the D for? Integrated development environment. Okay. And it helps to make some things easier for you. For instance, you see commands, it color codes the commands in green. It color codes the string in red. So these are things that help people. It also helps you, like when you hit enter, because I have a block here, then it gives me 4 spaces to the from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Usually I like 2 spaces, but it gives me 4. So if you like, you use this one. If you like, you use your own. Okay. So let's do this. It gives you 4 to the left. Okay. And then if age is less than 13, I want to print let's use a format statement. I'll say at age. So you are a child. Let's say kid. Okay. So it's going to tell us at age blah blah blah, you're a kid. Okay. I hit enter. You see, it will think, it doesn't know that you don't want to continue in the block. Okay. It thinks you want to continue in the block, continue in the block. Okay. You can have nested ifs, but in this case, we won't look at nested ifs. So I want to use else if age is less than 20. Yeah, if your age is less than 20, then you're still in your teens. Okay, if age is less than 13, it will already do this and say you're a kid. Okay. Now, if age is less than 20, okay, if age is less than 13, it will already do this and it will stop the program. It will write this and stop the program. Okay. So the next one is else if your age is less than 20. So I don't have to say if your age is between 13 and 20 or 13 and, yeah, I don't have to say that because if your age is less than 13, it's already going to do something. Now, the next one is people that have their ages above 13 or less than 20. Then I have this, oops. Sorry, I put a colon. Okay. You put a colon, then it knows you want to start a new block. I print F at age you are a teenager. Okay, so if I hit enter, it thinks I want to continue the block, but I don't want to. So I put else. I'll print a formatted age. You are an adult. Okay. So we can execute this now, and it's just going to Okay. So please give us your age. So let's give the age as 18 and hit enter. It says at 18, you're a teenager. Sorry, it should be an hour. Let's do it again. Somebody that's 20, we hit enter. At 20, you're an adult. Okay. Let's do it again. Somebody that is 50. We hit enter. At 50, you're an adult. Let's do it again. Somebody that is 10. At 10, you're a kid. Okay. So all this, it's what works to do exactly what we want it to do. Usually, if you have the if command, okay, the if statement, you may have elif, you may not. You may have else, you may not. But you will typically have an if. Okay. So let me show you in this. Okay. So this is more or less what we did. Okay. You can also write something to help decide if the student passed or failed. If this, so you can read the score, and if the score is greater than or equal to 45, you say the person passed, grade is passed. If it's else, the grade is fail. So I don't have to check any other thing. Okay. And you see that at the end, I put the print statement. This is important. Okay. I didn't put the print statement in any of the I didn't put it here under this place, and I didn't put it here under this. You can put it there also, but it's too many. So this is the good thing about computing. Many times there's no right answer or wrong answer. Although sometimes there are more efficient ways of doing the same thing. Okay. So instead of doing something in 4 commands, if you can do it in 1 command, or if you can do it in a command that saves time, because each command takes time to run on the computer. So if you can do it in using a command that saves time, this is very good. Okay. So I want to do this. So we are going to read the score, and if the score is greater than 45, we give a grade of pass, else we give a grade of fail. And then it's going to print with a score of this, the student has a pass or a fail. Okay, so this can happen. So in this case, there's no elif. Okay. If you like, you can do elif and not use else. It will work here also. Okay. Here we are helping to decide if a material is solid, liquid, or gas. Okay. So we start with this. Temperature is 150. If the temperature is less than 0, the face is solid. Okay. And else if the temperature is between 0 and 100, so this is how we do it, between 0 and 100. The temperature, so this symbol is less than or equal to, so 0 is less than or equal to the temperature, and is less than 100. We put a colon, then the face is liquid, else the face is gas. Okay. Okay. So elif may not be necessary, else may not be necessary, but indentation is usually necessary. It helps you to know what part belongs to the block. Okay. So there's a reason why I want to do this one. So let me try to do this one. Material phase detection, and I'll take in the temperature, and if the temperature is less than 0, face is solid, and I'll print this. Okay. Okay. So you can type it also on your own. Material. Okay. So let me call it my temperature. Again, I'm going to put an input. Okay. But if I do this, it's going to take it as a string, but then I'll convert it to a float. and I have it this. Okay, so this would be, ouch. So this would be a float. Okay. And then if my temperature is less than 0, I want to say that phase is solid. And I'm printing, what am I printing? Let me look. Okay, I'm printing this. There's a reason why I'm printing it here, because I want to show you that you need to put things in a block. Um, the material, okay. So at my temperature, degrees Celsius, the material is in this phase. Okay. Okay. So now you see when I do enter, it still puts me in the same block, but I do backspace to make sure I go to elif, I put a comment, elif 0. So this is less than or equal, sorry, less than or equal. Less than or equal. I don't put a space. Okay, my temperature is less than 100. So my temperature is 0 up to but not including 100. What should I do? I'll put phase is liquid. And I'm not printing anything, okay? And then else, if you like, you can still put elif, else if my temperature is greater than 100. You see? So if you do this, else phase equals gas. Okay. You can do this, okay? Or if you like, instead of doing this, oops, sorry, you can use elif again. Elif, but you have to put a condition and say my temperature is greater than or equal to 100. Okay, then phase is gas. You see, the thing with using elif again is that the computer will have to evaluate this and check whether your temperature is greater than or equal to 100. Whereas if you just use else and you don't put this, my temperature, you just put else, it doesn't evaluate anything again. It takes time for the computer to evaluate this because it has to check now whether your temperature is greater than or equal to 100. Whereas before, if this fails and this fails, it just goes here automatically and it doesn't check anything again. In this case that I've written it now, it will check this. If this fails, it will check this. If this fails, then it will check this. And let's say this fails and it runs out of options. I think it will do nothing. Yeah. Okay. So in this case, putting elif my temperature greater than or equal to 100, it will work, but it's not the smartest way to do it because the computer will still evaluate whether your temperature is greater than or equal to 100. Okay. If you want to save the computer time, then don't put this elif, put else. Okay. Well, this will work. Okay. So let's do shift return. Uninterrupted F string literal. Oh. So here I should have done something like this. I think. Let me try. No. Sorry. I think the way to, let me see if this works. Yeah. The way to continue the line, I put a slash and then I put a space, and this continues the line for me. Okay. Because it's in a formatted string, so you put this slash. Okay, please input the temperature. Let's put 0. Enter. Oh, what did I do? So what happened? How come we didn't print anything? Yeah. How come we did not print anything? I said my temperature is 0. How come we did not print anything?
Because you didn't ask it to print. So
No, but I
when
asked it to print here.
yeah, because that one is indented under if, so that one belongs to the if statement only.
Correct. Yeah. So it belongs to that if statement only. And I didn't tell you to print here. Okay. So it's here that I've told you to print, and then it will print something. Okay. What if, let me see the questions I asked. If the temperature falls to -2 degrees, okay, what will the program print? So let's look at the program. What if the temperature is -2 degrees? What will it print?
It should print it's solid because
Okay.
it's the condition if covers for that.
Okay, let's try. So I put -2. Enter. Wow, you're smart. Okay, so it does print it.
Okay, Prof.
Yes.
What if the first if, can we say my temperature is less than or equals to 0? Maybe it will print the 0 as solid.
My temperature is, oh yeah, if you put less than or equal to here. Oh yeah, so let's say you put less than or equal to here, and I put 0, it's going to execute this, and it won't care what the rest says. It will execute this, and this will be it. It won't check the next elif, it won't check the next elif. Okay, so this first one it will do. Although yes, you have 0 less than or equal to. When it's 0, is it liquid or is it solid? Yeah, so if you do this with less than or equal to, you are going to see, sorry, what did I do? I did the same thing. Sorry. Okay. So if I put 0 now, it still told me the material is in the solid phase. Why didn't it get to this one? Because once the condition is satisfied, it doesn't check the rest anymore.
Sir.
Yes.
So I think that we have two same condition. The first elif is same like the
Yes,
first one.
this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, right? This one, right?
Yes, yes. Maybe this.
Yeah. When it's 0, yeah, I did it on purpose. When it's 0, then which one would you do? Will you do this one when it's 0 or this one when it's 0? If you do the first one,
Maybe
then
you
once
can
it does
change
the
the
first
condition.
one, yeah, I will change it just now. Once it does the first one, then it doesn't do the second one again or any other one again. Once the first one is satisfied, it doesn't check for the other ones again. Okay. So if you know that most of the time, the person using the code is going to give you a temperature that is less than 0, then it's better to put that one first. So to just execute it and doesn't need to go through the code because it takes time to go through the code. Let's say I know most of the time the temperature will be between 0 and 100. Then it's better to put this part between 0 and 100 to put it first so that to execute that and does not have to go through the code again. This will just save computer time. Okay, but I agree with you. So this one, I put this. And if you execute this, if you are 0, this will not work. Okay, but this, it won't go through this part, but you go through this other part to set your to this other part. Okay, but this other part, it will not tell you what phase you are in because it just takes your phase and it doesn't read and tell you what phase you are in. Okay? If the temperature is at 0 degrees, what will the program print? We went through that. If I want the program to always print an information about the temperature and the correspondence phase, what do you recommend that we do this to the program? So I want it to always print information about the temperature and the phase. What should I do? What do you suggest?
I would suggest that the print statement that is currently under the if block of code be moved under the
Under the what?
elif, the print statement under the if block of code. I think we should move it from there and then put it outside the block of code. So the
Yeah, okay.
conditionals will work and then run print at the end.
Yeah, so this is a good idea. So yes, you can put it here and put another one here and put another one here. Okay, you can do this. And if you run it, each time it's going to run and give you, if I say my temperature is 120, I do enter. At 120 degrees Celsius, the material is in the gas phase. It's going to do it for you, okay? But you see, this is overkill. You don't need this one, so I can remove it. So if you do it, it's going to work, yeah? And this one, I don't need it. I can remove it. If you leave it this way, if you are 0 degrees or between 0 and 100, it's not going to print anything. So the reason is because this print is part of this last elif statement, okay? So actually, this last elif, let's just change it to else. So we don't need to put anything because just the condition. Okay, so here, if you put it here, if your temperature is between 0 and 100, it won't print anything. If your temperature is less than 0, it won't print anything. Because this print block belongs to this else, not to the elif, not to the if. Okay, so let's try that. So if I put the temperature of 0 and hit enter, it doesn't do anything. Okay? Because this print block does not belong to everybody. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is exactly what Chagozim said. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, so the way I make sure it's not in a block is, I don't indent it. Okay, I mean, for now, this is okay. Later on, you will see that you can have a block in a block in a block, an indentation in an indentation in an indentation. You can have that. So in this case now, it's going to run, it's going to say my temperature is float. It's going to take this, read your temperature. If the temperature is less than 0, it's going to set your phase to be solid. Else, if your temperature is between 0 and 100, less than 100, it's going to say you are liquid. Else, it's going to say you are gas. And then it finishes the if, elif, else block. And then then it exits this block, if statement, conditional statement. And then it's going to print at my temperature, degrees Celsius, the material is in this phase, okay? Because it has the temperature and it already has the phase from all of this. So let's try it, shift enter. So if I put 0, it tells me at 0 degrees Celsius, the material is in the liquid phase. If I put my -2, I put enter, -2 degrees Celsius, the material is in the solid phase. If I put, I don't know, 110, so you are on a, yeah, I put 110. 110 degrees Celsius, the material is in the gas phase. Okay. So it always prints this. It always does this, no matter what, in this case. Okay. You can look at the other ones where you decide whether the student passed or failed and whether yeah. Okay. Tim, let me ask you a question. So if you have a Boolean, what does it do? Okay. So when we write something like this, what it does is it evaluates this age less than 13 and it sees whether it's true or false. Okay. It evaluates this age less than 13. It sees whether it's true or false. If it's true, it will execute what is below it. If it's false, it will not. How do we know this is what it does? Okay, so let's go here. Okay, let's say age is 13. Okay, or let's say age is 18. So I'll do print age less than 13. Okay, so we say, what are you printing here? You are saying print age less than 13. Are you printing the age, or what are you doing? No, this age less than 13 is a variable. If you like, you can put brackets around it. It's a variable that evaluates to true or false. Okay, so in this case, it will evaluate to false because age is 18 and is greater than, is not less than 13. Okay, so if I do shift enter here, you see it prints false because it evaluates this age less than 13 and it sees that age is not less than 13. So age less than 13 is false and it prints it. Okay, so this is what it does. So in the same way, if you go up here, if my temperature less than 0, it evaluates this, my temperature. Okay, and it determines whether it's true or false. If it's true, it sets face to be solid. If it's false, it goes to the next elif. Then it will evaluate this also. So if you like, you put a bracket around it. We used to write in Python, sorry, in Fortran and a little bit of C++ in the past, we like to put brackets around it. But Pythonic people, they don't put brackets around it. They just know this is it, you know? So it evaluates this thing and tells you whether it is true or false. It evaluates this, tells you whether it's true or false, okay? And then it goes to the next place. So the same way here, age is 18. Print, what I'm printing is age less than 13. Okay. So if I do the same thing and I remove the brackets also, you see that it works because it just evaluates this. And it just says the result of this thing is false. So it just prints that. So this is a Boolean. So the other thing you can do is you can say is adult. Okay, let's say age equals 18. And then I can say is adult equals, so is adult now, I want it to be a Boolean. Sorry, is kid. I want it to be a Boolean. I'll just say age less than 13. Okay. This is complicated. That what are you doing? Is kid equals age less than 13. Well, you can think of it as I put a bracket here. Okay. And age is 18. Is kid is a Boolean. It takes yes or no, or true or false in this case. So if age is less than 13, it will take true. If age is not less than 13, it will take false. So in this case, I put age is 18. Is kid equals this age less than 13. It's good to put the bracket so that you are not confused. I'll hit shift enter. It doesn't print anything, but let's do two things. Let's print the type of is kid. Okay. What do you think is going to be? Is kid, what do you think the type is? The type is what?
Boolean.
It should be a Boolean.
Yeah,
Boolean.
it will be a Boolean. Yeah. So let's do this. So it says it's class Boolean. So the computer will use less space to store it. Okay. And then if you want to print the value, you can print is kid. Okay. And in this case, it will tell us it's false because in this case, this is exactly what it was there. Okay. Okay. So we are going to stop here. I initially intended that we'll meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I did not send these files in time. So then when we started, I had to spend some time to show how to install the code. Okay. So two things. The first thing is please try to read this thing ahead. Okay. Tomorrow's class is optional. Okay. So if you have questions or you have issues with installing, then we can just meet online to see how much we can do. So tomorrow is optional. And then Wednesday, we'll try to finish the loops and start on the functions and modules, which is interesting. Okay. So again, tomorrow is optional. I'll be here for about an hour. I need to check the time I put there. I think 5 to 6 or 6 to 7. And then, but I'll read about for loops. I'll read about while loops, about break and continue. Okay? The break and continue thing is interesting. So I give you two. I give you two. Oh, sorry. I give you two codes, and then you have to see how each of them works. So this code and the next one, they're almost the same. Only that this one has break and the next one has continue. Okay. So you can run it and see how they run and then use that to know what's the difference between break and continue. So try to go through this before we meet again on Wednesday. Okay. Try to implement all of this before we meet again on Wednesday. Tomorrow is optional for everybody, but I'll be around. If you have issues with installing, then we can work on this together. If you have other questions that you want to ask tomorrow, then you can ask it. Yeah. Okay. So have a good rest of the evening. And I'll send a link to where the video is, and then we'll be able to get it. Okay. All the best to everybody.
Thank you.